Okay. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. So today we're gonna learn little bit about fasting and Ramadan because the Ramadan gonna start next week. So see you can get something from our discussion. I can use this our Ramadan inshallah. So if I take the verse 183, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu, the most important word is amanu. Kutiba alaykumus siyam, fasting has been prescribed as it was prescribed the people before you so that you can achieve taqwa. So today I'm going to use only two words. I'm not going to use lalla because I already described that before. Today amanu and tattakun. These are the two words. Um, I'm going to try to make some presentation based on these two. First of all, Amanu. What is Amanu? Amanu is Iman, right? Abida Rashid, Amanu. Let us see. So if you have Iman, remember I said, if you have Iman, you are called as Mumin. If you have taqwa, you are called Muttaqi. The condition of mind is called Mutma Inna. Abida, do you remember this? Mutmainna. And
Yeah.
you have Mutmainna, it is equivalent to paradise. I have to write little bit smaller because only small space I can use. So guys, remember this. If you have Iman, we call you Mumin. And if you have Taqwa, we call you Muttaqi. And the Muttaqi and the condition of your mind is called Mutmainna. And if you have Mutmainna, you're going to go to paradise. So this is a very straight line, easy to understand. Now, I'm going to combine two things. Abida Rashid, what is Iman? Iman, what is Iman, Abida? What is Iman?
Like this, it's like in your heart. It's like
Wow, Abida is so. Yeah, what else? Hearts, and then what? Only one section, heart?
no, and then it's like it like influences your statements, the way you say and your actions. I think.
Very good. So the first word, Abida, is believe, right? Believe in hearts. Remember, this is very important. Yesterday, when I was trying to give these things, everybody knows Iman is belief. Iman is belief, showing by action. So, guys, the most important, this is the three aspects of Iman. Believe in hearts, saying by mouth, showing by action. Believe in hearts. So, what is the pillar of Iman, Abida? What are the pillars of Iman? Amantu billahi wal malaikati wal kutubi wal rusuli wal yawmil akhir and wal qadri khairi, the destiny. Qadir and destiny. Zahra Noor, you know that? No?
I don't.
Amantu
Uh,
billahi wa malaikatihi wa kutubihi wa rusuli.
oh yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So these are the pillars of belief. And if you take the most important one is basically all of them related to Allah, but we can erase the book and the Rasul and what? So if you believe in these three one, Allah and then Akhirah and then destiny. Because the book and Rasul came to introduce Allah and Akhirah. So Iman, something you believe in Allah, Akhirah, and destiny. These are the three important. So, Jaharanur, do you remember Iman? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala compared the Iman with a tree. Do you remember?
Oh wait, yeah. I think you talked about how it like has roots.
Yeah, so this is basically Iman. Remember that roots is equal to Iman. So this part need to be very strong because it is said. So this is a deeply rooted tree. The first part is deeply rooted. So we don't see our belief, it is in hearts. Same way, the trees inside the soil, we don't see. The implication of deeply rooted, it means that no one can take it out. The way root cannot be uprooted if it is deeply rooted. And so remember all these things, believe in Allah, Akhirah, destiny. It need to be like that deeply rooted tree. One more time, that need to be very deeply rooted about Allah, Akhirah, and destiny. Believe in Allah is what? That you need to know that you are accountable to Allah. Akhirah, you're going to see Allah. And then eventually it's going to determine your destiny. So first thing, these are the belief or six pillars of Iman. This is very important. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying it is equivalent to a deeply rooted tree. Basically, in this case, it is the root only. So this is very important, very, very important. First part. Then, once you have this Iman, remember saying and showing. What are they? What are they? They are basically the branches. No, those branches are what? Those branches, as I mentioned one day, those branches are nothing but Salah, Zakah, Hajj, and fasting. Wow, what a wonderful annotation. Can you see? If you know this part, you can say whole Islam. I know about almost whole Islam. Amantu billahi wa malaikatihi wa kutubi. This is the arkan of Iman and this is arkan of Islam. The first part is Iman. The first part is Iman and the top part is the pillars. And those pillars you can see saying and showing by action. You say I'm a Muslim and you show by action. So there are three parts of Iman. Wow. Lately I found this is really a nice way to remember this. Okay, so now our today's topic is the Iman. I finished that. What is Iman? Please try to remember. And what is taqwa? So what is taqwa here? We don't see any taqwa. We know the pillars of Arkanul Iman and Arkanul Islam. What is taqwa? That we are going to define today. So first of all, in order to have taqwa, you have to have a strong belief on this part. Allah, Akhirah, and destiny. Very important, the lower part. If this is strong, it will give you saying and showing. One of them is Salah, Zakah, and Hajj. Zakah and Hajj, it is not for everyone. So let us take that out and let us discuss a little bit about this Salah, and eventually we are going to go for fasting. Okay? Because fasting is related to taqwa. Okay, now, as I mentioned before, when you say Salah, what is the purpose of Salah? We said, Inna Salata tanha anil fahshaya wal munkar. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, indeed, of course, Salah will prevent you to do the fasha and munkar, bad things and fasha. Anyway, I don't want to go what is fasha again. Okay, so Salah, once you do that, it creates something around that. What is it? Because there are many bad things happening all over the places. Because of Salah, you don't see them. You don't intermingle with that. You don't let them in. So it makes a domain within yourself and in your surroundings that is also a part of taqwa. Because if you are following Allah, order of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then so the eventually all the purpose of Arkanul Islam is taqwa. Why? Taqwa equal to mutmainna, mutmain equal to paradise. That is our destination. So now the question today is only the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned only fasting can give you. I mean, those are part of it, but taqwa was mentioned only for fasting. So that fasting, I came to know through some other stuff that, so this is one. The second one, as I mentioned, through the fasting, you're going to make a big shield. As I mentioned last week, probably shield. In fact, Shield. And this is mentioned in the Quran that hadith that what? The fasting is a kind of shield. The shield that we use for to fight against the enemy. So once you form that shield, as I said before, it is equivalent to your iron dome. This is equivalent to iron dome. Nothing can penetrate within this. Remember, this is related to this one as well. Root should be there. You have to get the nourishment from root, and those are action, and eventually this action will form a big barrier, a shield around you. And as I mentioned, in that shield, only you and Allah, no one else. Only the Abid, the servant, and Allah. What does it mean? Only, so this is the love between a servant and then Allah. You are not going to do anything that displeases Allah. You are going to do things that pleases Allah. Wow, can you imagine? So if you are getting the nourishment from there, but at the end of the day, you are interacting with the people around, it make a big shield and iron dome, no one can penetrate it. And this is embedded in your hearts. And I gave you example how strong these things are. There is a story, probably it is true, I don't know, you can find it out. A king called a couple of the Sahabas who he arrested, and they asked him, bring all of them, and they were putting into the boiling water or boiling oil, something like that. At that time, one of the companion or the messenger was crying. Then king thought that, well, he is afraid now. So just say, I'm not a Muslim, then I'm going to let you go. Then the reply was like this, oh, Mr. King, I am crying not because I'm afraid of death. I'm crying because I have one life. If Allah give him thousands of life, I could show Allah that by giving all the thousands of life that I love Allah and I cannot give up my religion. So why these things is happening? So because the Iman is very deeply rooted under any adverse situation, still they maintain this, I don't know. Nothing can penetrate there. Even it is related to your death. So that is I'm saying taqwa. That is what I'm saying taqwa does. Now I'm done with the basic. Now how fasting. How fasting is giving you the taqwa. So let us talk a little bit and I am done. Okay, fasting, we know we do two types of things. Number one is the spiritual. The other is physical. These are the two things that we do during the month of Ramadan. We try not to take any food. Right? We try not to take any food during the month of Ramadan, especially in the daytime. And then we try not to see something bad, not to say something bad. So it is spiritual and physical as well. Spiritual. And we try not to do anything bad. So this is what we do. So we do these things for a long time. Salah, we pray only few minutes, but especially Ramadan is very, very long ibadah. And this is not once in a lifetime like Hajj. So it is every year until you are alive. You know it, right? Even in your old age, if you can't fast, there are some way you can compensate it. So fasting is not forgiven. So there are some way you have to compensate that. So what I'm saying, this is the longest form of ibadah in the history of Islam. Very long. And we don't do it by ourselves. Salah you can pray, isn't it? You can pray Jama and there are range. But in case of Ramadan or fasting, almost all over the place, they start it together. It does not depend on the weather, whether it is cold weather of winter or hottest weather of summer. You have to do it. There is no excuse. So, what I'm saying, by this fasting, you are having a physical trying to weaken your inner inner fuzuraha. I say fuzuraha is the things, bad things. These are nothing but shaitan. So fuzuraha. So if you don't eat food, your physical desire goes down. That means you are weakening the bad thinking in your mind, which is fuzuraha. This is physical. The same time, as I said, because there's another block which is called taqwa, which is taqwa. The same taqwa is this, exactly the same meaning. So in the month of Ramadan, we are not eating, even in the hottest day. That is controlling, restraining our desire. Therefore, the fuzuraha, we have control over fuzuraha. It is going down, and taqwa is going up. Remember? So in the month of Ramadan, you can have two inputs, as said before. One is the fuzura input, the other is taqwa input. For example, if you see something bad, it is going to the CPU, that means your brain, and it is feeding to the fuzuraha will go up, taqwa will go down. The same way, if you see something good, or if you read something, you are giving food to your taqwa, and the fuzuraha is going to go down. So the output, so these are inputs. These are inputs. Either fuzuraha or taqwa, spiritual or physical. Either way, so you can backbite, you can listen to the people backbiting, you can say something bad to the people. So this is the inputs that you are giving. And it is being processed within the CPU, I'm saying within the brain, where we have the two pulleys, either fuzura or taqwa, Depending on this pulley, we can measure the status of your mind. I'm coming to here. Where is it? So first one is, probably I forgot, it is Lawama, Amara, Mutmainna, which is this one. So again, in the month of Ramadan, when you are giving good inputs, the taqwa is going up, and eventually it increases your taqwa, and it is going to there, and you are achieve that mutmainna, which is equivalent to taqwa, and your destination will be paradise. So these are the two pieces of information. Number one is the Iman is important. Number two, whatever you're doing in the month of Ramadan. So I told you before, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, in the month of Ramadan, what is the reward? Nobody knows. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I'm going to give the reward to my servant in my own hands. That is the only reason. And I said before, see how you're making the shield around you? Just one example. Just consider one example. You can see the salah, people are praying. People give zakah, you can see them. People are going to Hajj, you can see. But Ramadan, fasting, you can't see. By physical appearance, you cannot say the person is fasting. Only you and Allah. I think I discussed this before. And you are so cautious, even in the hottest day, when you are making wudu or taking shower, you are so careful that a drop of water should not go inside my mouth. Who is seeing it? None. If you are taking shower, none gonna look at it. Who? So you are thinking, Allah is watching me. Therefore, Allah is watching me. Even a drop of water goes to my mouth, the first thing will be null and void. So can you see what we are doing? Wow, in your inner space is none but you and Allah. This is only ibadah. This is the only ibadah that you and Allah, not other one. As I said, the Salah, Zakah, and Hajj, it is visible. Two things is not visible out of that. One is your Iman and the shield that you made out of fasting. That's why Ramadan and fasting is so important. So remember this part. If you can remember this part, you can utilize Ramadan, inshallah. When you are fasting, remember who are you feeding? Is it fuzurha or taqwa? Each and every time, 24/7. If you are doing something, think about it. Am I giving food to fujuraha, or am I giving to the taqwa? If you can completely, slowly take it down, meaning that taqwa is going to go up. And if it is mutmainna, which is equivalent to taqwa, which is the space, iron dome between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No one can penetrate it. So alhamdulillah, this is what I learned by relating 5 pillars and 6 pillars of Iman, 5 pillars of Islam. So basically this part is common, but I took an example of fasting today to let you know how things work in the month of Ramadan. And you know the hadith about the benefit of Ramadan, which is very special. So I'm not going through those things. But if you have any questions, I can discuss it. Otherwise, I'm done. Any question from anyone? No? Anything new for you guys today? Anything new? Khajana, Abida, Adia, Jahara, not. I remember I discussed with him on a separate case, but I never discussed this thing that this is really related to the Iman as well. Wow. It was separate before. I see there is a relationship between Iman and I mean the pillars of Iman and pillars of Islam. pretty much related. That I did not realize before. This is something new for me. Okay, if no question, I can stop it.